Connors USA. Larry Connors USA.
This is CNN Tonight. I'm Don Lemon, and the hypocrisy of the Republican Party is off the charts tonight. And don't start with me about, this is liberal. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a conservative. I'm an American. I don't belong to any party, okay? But the hypocrisy of the Republican Party is off the charts.
There's Don Lemon of CNN. Don Lemon Fruitcake. Oh, I hope I didn't lose a lot of you when the opening came out and said, this is CNN, and I'm Don Lemon. You're thinking, oh, my God, I got the wrong channel. No, you're with Larry Connors USA. But I wanted you to hear Don Lemon as he began his monologue last night, his diatribe about hypocrisy. Yes, my friend. The left has finally found and discovered the word hypocrisy. It's been thrown at them numerous times, but they kind of ducked and evaded and just wouldn't pay attention to it. They're very much with hypocrisy, like the word Constitution. They don't really know what it is, but they use it when it works to their advantage. That's about it. And in this case, hypocrisy is the latest weapon of the left of Don Lemon Fruitcake and the rest of them. I remind you, in case you have any doubt, when I say Don Lemon Fruitcake, I'm not referencing his sexual preference. I could care less. I'm calling him a fruitcake because he's kind of nutty, and all our fruitcakes are full of nuts and crazy things. I think I still have a fruitcake from 1965 I'm using as a doorstop. That's about the only use I can find for them. All right, I went down that rabbit hole. Let's get away from it. Here's Don Lemon talking about how the hypocrisy that exists among the left. And you know where he's taking it? He's taking it because of the response and the challenges to Biden's nominee to head up Office of Management and Budget, Neera Tanden. Neera Tanden had made thousands upon thousands of nasty tweets about GOP members and others, and not just GOP members. We'll get to that in a minute. But that is kind of the reason some of the senators, certainly on the Republican side, are questioning her and saying, baby, maybe, and I said baby, I'm trying to say maybe you should not be considered for this position. And how are you going to explain and work with members of Congress with all the things you've said? Now, yes, let's accept the fact right now, Donald Trump made a lot of nasty tweets, personal tweets. I did not like them in many cases. I challenged them. I chastised Donald Trump for them. So I can stand on firm ground and say I'm against any of them. But, of course, the Don Lemon Fruitcakes and that network and others along with them, they're always challenging the Trump tweets. And in this case, they're willing to basically accept Neera Tanden, her tweets, and call out the GOP for hypocrisy because they didn't fight enough against the Trump tweets. It's a sordid circle story they're in. But let's kind of break it down for you. Once again, Don Lemon has found the word hypocrisy.
The hypocrisy of the Republican Party is off the charts tonight. And don't start with me about, this is liberal. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a conservative. I'm an American. I don't belong to any party, okay? But the hypocrisy of the Republican Party is off the charts. And I'm going to explain to you why. They are suddenly calling for, get this, civility and bipartisanship. Well, civility from the other guys is what they want, while Republicans continue to slam President Biden's nominees.
Yes, that's true. Republicans are slamming Biden's nominees, and particularly Neera Tanden. Now, just because they have found the word hypocrisy, they still don't really know what it means. It's just that it's been thrown at them enough that they suddenly decided, well, maybe we can pick up that weapon and use it. And one of the ones that called out Neera Tanden for some of her remarks was Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana. Here's Senator Kennedy.
I have to tell you, I'm very disturbed about your personal comments about people. it's not just one or two. I think you deleted about 1,000 tweets. And it wasn't just about Republicans. And I don't mind disagreements in policy. I think that's great. I love the dialectic. But the comments were personal. I mean, you call Senator Sanders everything but an ignorant slut.
That is not true.
I didn't call him an ignorant slut. What Senator Kennedy said, you called him everything but an ignorant slut. I think that part is true, but she did not call Senator Sanders an ignorant slut. You're going to hear from Senator Sanders here in a moment. Now, the fact that the Republicans are acting certainly appalled and shocked and dismayed that someone would use the tweet machine and make personal attacks, I will certainly agree. You don't really have ground to stand on either. I will agree with that extent with Don Lemon Fruitcake. I will. But they're doing it. And, of course, by doing so, they're giving fuel to the Don Lemon Fruitcake attitude and claim that they are hypocritical. You have to recognize facts, and you have to accept that, yeah, I'm kind of guilty, but I'm still going to do the same thing. The left never has a problem doing that. See, the Republicans have always had a difficult time. They don't want to seem, quote, uncivil. They don't want to seem operating out of the box. They don't want to see perhaps that they're coloring outside the lines. They don't want to appear to be, well, we're not as bad as those guys. They try to hold themselves up in a different way. That's what they try, generally. Along came Trump, and Trump interrupted everything, clearly. He interrupted the Republican Party, its view, its approach, everything. That is why he was so successful and why he might still be lurking in the wings for a future run. We will come back to that before we wrap up this hour. But again, it's giving ammunition to the left to say, see, you have accused us of hypocrisy, and here you are on the right, that you are now being hypocritical. And again, specifically, Reverend Senator John Kennedy, Republican of Louisiana, the remarks of Don Lemon Fruitcake.
The hypocrisy in all of this is off the charts. No one is saying mean tweets are right, but the hypocrisy. Senator Kennedy is disturbed by Neera Tanden's name-calling. Well, I want you to just listen to some of the names that Senator Kennedy himself was throwing around just today, like neo-socialist, left of Lenin, whack job. That's what he called Biden's Interior Secretary nominee, Deb Haaland. Those comments sound pretty personal to me. Name-calling is bad except when you do it yourself. Mean tweets are bad except when they're Trump's mean tweets.
Yep. See, you knew he was going to put Trump into that. He's got points. Listen, I had to always give the enemy points as well. I mean, when they make a point, I will concede that's a legitimate point. I'm going to give him, believe it or not, Don Lemon Fruitcake points for what he just said. And in quoting Kennedy, I assume he quoted him exactly correctly. I haven't had a chance to check on that, but I will simply accept that as, quote, fact from Lemon Fruitcake. But there were other senators also challenging these tweets. See, Neera Tanden never apparently thought she'd ever get a chance to have this kind of position. She was a Hillary Clinton supporter. She was with Hillary all the way. And that's why she also didn't like Bernie Sanders. She was with Hillary in the beginning and still is and would be if she were still there. But now that she's nominated to head up Office of Management and Budget, that is such a big position, controlling the purse strings for so many things in our government. And she was aware that enough of what she had said were vile and not going to help her cause, especially in front of senators voting to confirm or not confirm. Specifically Republicans, of course. And she did delete thousands of them. Not all of them, and not fast enough, because some of the senators took note of some of the things she had been calling them.
Just a couple of months ago, you tweeted, "Republicans don't believe in science." Pretty broad statement that you made there.
Calling Mitch McConnell Moscow Mitch is probably not a very good thing to say.
You've called Republicans criminally ignorant, corrupt, and the worst.
You wrote that Susan Collins is, quote, the worst, that Tom Cotton is a fraud, that vampires have more heart than Ted Cruz. You called Leader McConnell Moscow Mitch and Voldemort, and on and on.
And on and on. That one line that a vampire has more of a heart than Senator Ted Cruz. I'll give her some points for creativity. This is what we are at this point in this nation. And, of course, you could say it's Trump's fault. No, you can't, as grown adults, you can't continually blame someone else for what you do. And you cannot use that as an excuse for what you do. That is tantamount to children on the playground. He called me a name first, and I called him one back. And then, of course, begins to escalate off the playground that he was going to shoot me, and I shot him for, some of it has legitimacy. Some of it is predicated upon perceptions and fears, and some of it's upon bias, albeit reference race, religion, gender, whatever qualifications you want to add. Is any of it good? No, it's not. Well, Larry, you're calling Don Lemon, an esteemed anchor at CNN, lemon fruitcake. What makes you so different? Well, I'm not. I'm not different. I plead guilty to things like that. Could I do better? Yeah, I could. I could say, Mr. Don Lemon, from now on. I could do that. I choose not to. Now, if I were a standard news anchor, as I'd been for decades, yes, I would, because that is not, if you're doing legitimate news and journalism, you don't throw terms like that around in referring to someone. I may or may not call him Mr. Lemon, but I would not call him by my favorite name for him. But all of this aside, what is appalling to me, and really is not appalling so much as it just a realization that the left still doesn't get it. They never have. They never will. They will go forward from this date, and they will still say, we are not hypocritical. Those guys are. And specifically pointing at Donald Trump.
It is really rich that Republicans suddenly think that mean tweets disqualify a person from serving in our government. Well, a Democratic woman anyway. When they tolerated the former president's Twitter wars for years, even though his tweets incited an insurrection, got him permanently banned from Twitter. Now, all of a sudden, they care about the mean tweets. This is rich.
Your attacks. This is rich. Yeah, this is rich. Well, the bottom line is you're wrong to say they incited an insurrection. But he did get permanently banned from Twitter and Facebook and other social media. But I want to remind you, Neera Tanden was not just on the attack against Republicans, one of them being Senator Sanders. You'll want to hear his response when we continue.